Hello, Grumpy Old Fart here. Um, I started a book, writing a different book. I've got 3 books published. I had started another one a few years ago, and I kind of got out of it because I ran out of stuff to put in it, and it would be at this point kind of I'd have to get back into it and start doing more research and stuff. But I thought I'd talk about the substance of that book here shortly because my son heard the term and he brought it to my attention, and I said, hey, I know what that is. There's a term called the singularity. And the singularity is, it's the point where our computers and robotics and things like that, our technology, no longer needs us. It deals with the advent of the rise of artificial intelligence and things like that. That's the singularity that we're talking about. And the estimate, it's going to be, the last estimate I heard was something like 20, 25 years from now. And it's a scary thought. It's a real scary thought. Right now, you're watching this video on YouTube. YouTube is part of the internet. The internet's fun. The internet is a server with, and it's the free flow of information. Amen. Okay? No problem with that. When we're talking about artificial intelligence, we're talking about thinking machines. Machines that can think. Machines that are self-aware. Okay? I'm going to start with that, and it's going to morph into a few different branches of technology. In the first place, artificial intelligence, to me, is asinine. It's one thing to say we want a computer that can make, weigh information and come up with decent options for us to choose from. That's cool. But the artificial intelligence that they're talking about, if you don't know who they are, there's a group out there called DARPA, DARPA. It's the Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency, something like that. Anyway, DARPA, DARPA, and what they do is they research military technology. Okay, and they've come up with a number of things that are just scary as hell. There's one of the things that they're working on now is a drone with artificial intelligence, an armed robot drone with artificial intelligence. And this robot, using this artificial intelligence, will determine which humans are viable targets to shoot. Think about that. You have a machine deciding whether or not to kill this person versus whether or not to kill that person. A machine deciding that. If that doesn't scare the piss out of you, I don't know what should. I mean, it's ridiculous. Okay? DARPA is dealing with this right now. And I don't know how far they've gotten along. Right now, our drones, there's a pilot somewhere, I think is like here in the U.S., but they fly all over the world like that. And they're the humans. They can run, they have sophisticated computers, and they can run facial recognition software. Oh, that's a bad guy, we can get him. Or, oh no, that's just a farmer. I don't know who that is. He's not in our files, so we will leave him alone. That's one thing. I'm not happy about it, but rather than put 10,000 guys on the ground, you got to weigh your options. But when this drone doesn't have a pilot and it's flying around and it sees people on the ground, and it's, well, okay, we'll kill that guy but not this guy, or we'll kill that guy because he's wearing the wrong uniform, or let's just kill that group of people over there because they're in the wrong place. When a machine decides that, something's wrong. Something's seriously wrong. Okay? There's other types of technology that seem cool, but they just scare the pee right out of me. Right now, there's a company. It's a college actually. I think it started in Japan, and there's another place here in the U.S. somewhere that's working on it. It's a blanket. This blanket, you put it over somebody, and it makes them invisible. And I know this sounds like high-tech science fiction crap, but you can look at the videos on YouTube. It's a blanket that turns people invisible. It's a Harry Potter invisibility cloak. That's what they're calling it. Right now, our military is helping fund it because they want to make it like the next evolution of camouflage. You know how our guys wear camos? That's camouflage. Well, if you can see them, you can shoot them. That's the whole point of the green with the, or right now in the desert, they're wearing the desert mesh thing. But the idea is, that, it hides them so they can't see them. That's the whole point of camouflage. Well, and this is the example I heard was, if a pilot goes down and he's got one of these blankets in his emergency kit, and a whole bunch of bad guys are coming looking for him, he goes and lays down by a rock or something under a tree where they're not going to walk, and he puts this blanket over him. He's invisible. I mean, that's the level of technology that we're at right now. Okay, and you can watch this on YouTube, by the way. Type in invisibility cloak. It's there. The British right now are working on doing the same type of a polymer skin for their tanks. Ooh, invisible army tanks. Yeah. Now, for military applications, yeah, I can see that. That's cool. They can't see our dudes. We can see them. We can shoot them, and we're safe. That's reasonable. But put that towards a criminal application. You're watching this video. There's a guy behind you. He's invisible. He's watching it too. And you don't even know he's there. Or you're accessing your bank information on your computer, and there's a guy standing over there watching, writing down the numbers. The prospects for industrial piracy and other, industrial espionage, things like that, staggering. Okay, and this is just with a simple cloak. It doesn't even need a power source. Okay, it's ridiculous. As far as let's not even get into bugging devices, because those things are, they have right now they have they're working on it looks like a fly or a mosquito, an insect, and this thing has GPS. It can listen to what you're saying, where it lands on the outside of your car while you're driving down the road. Okay, that's what they're building right now. Right now, what they have is a dart gun. They shoot it and it hits the back window of your car, and in the dart, it's got listening, and because it's on the window acts like a sound. They can hear you through the window. That's my point. And you're driving down the road, and because it's got GPS built in, they know right where you are. They follow along a couple miles back and listening to everything you're saying. I watched another program where I want to say it was conspiracy theory, but this guy had a rock, and inside it's like you'd see in xeriscaping on somebody's lawn or whatever. In this rock, there's a bunch of electronic stuff, electric components. You throw that rock into their yard and nobody notices, right? Come back a week later, pick it up. It's got their passcodes for all their credit cards. It's got all their passwords. It's got the code to get in for their garage door opener. All that stuff's in there. It just records it all and holds it until somebody picks it up and downloads it and uses it. Yeah. There's an old adage in intelligence services: the more electronics people have, the easier it is to get in. Well, you have a cell phone? Okay. Well, guess what? They're already in. They're already in. Anything you put in that thing, they've already got it. Okay. I'm not trying to scare people, but this is the rate of technology that we have now. Okay. It used to be, right now, James Clapper used to be the director of, I want to say he was the director of national intelligence, but don't quote me. He was a bigwig in the intelligence industry, in the intelligence agencies of this country. Might have been CIA chief, I'm not sure. Anyway, the point being, he sat in front of Congress and said, oh, we're not collecting metadata. We might collect some accidentally, blah, 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 but it's not intentional. And that was a bold-faced lie. You can type this up. Go to YouTube and type in James Clapper lies to Congress. It's there. At the time, and he knew it, at the time, they were collecting everything. Anything you put on a computer, anything you put on your cell phone, and they store it in what it's called a metadata center. Okay? They've got it all. And if something happens and they need to look you up, they type in a code and it brings up all your stuff, and boom, they've got it. Okay? That is a blatant invasion of your Fourth Amendment right to privacy. Okay? That's a blatant violation of your civil rights, of everybody's civil rights. Okay? The problem is, as I understand it, when you get your cell phone and when you get online and things like that, and you get hooked up to the internet with your computer, you sign a contract, and in that contract allows them to do that. That's my understanding of it. Now, but my point is, technology is not always your friend. Okay. Cell phones are very, very convenient. We have one. If it was up to me, we wouldn't, but we live in a very remote area, so when I go to work, and I talked about this in other videos, when I go to work, I take a cell phone in case I break down. Because, it has its uses. I'm not saying it doesn't. You have to weigh that, its usefulness versus the risk. I know people who won't. I personally know a guy who never flies because he doesn't trust airplanes and he doesn't trust the TSA, and you can't blame him. He doesn't own a cell phone, and he never will, because he doesn't want them tracking him, because that's what they do with those things. They track them. It's not even funny what they can do with that. When you look at all of the things that you can apply technology to, and then you look at some of the things that some of these world leaders and some of these powerful people are talking about when they give their speeches, I shudder to think how little privacy we have in this country. And it's not just this country, it's all over the world. Okay? At the beginning of this video, I started talking about the singularity, and we've branched off into a number of different areas. Okay? Right now, they're talking about building, like the Iron Man suits, the comic book character Iron Man. Yeah, they're talking about building a suit like that for our military. And that's cool, I guess. But at some point, does the suit take over because of artificial intelligence? At what point will you give a computer a task and it says, why? I don't know how true this is. I read this in an article. There was a computerized robot on a Japanese manufacturing plant. And it was on like an assembly line kind of thing. And this thing was doing its thing. It didn't like, apparently, it killed somebody because it didn't like how it was being treated. Now, again, I don't know how true that is, but given some of the other things that we know, DARPA and some other people are working on, that's not that far-fetched. I know that sounds crazy, but at some point we have to stop doing things just because we can. Okay? We have to stop building computers that are more intelligent than we are. We have a smartphone in the house here. Okay, it knows where we are 24/7. It knows how many times this happened. You're on a computer at work and you're looking up something, and an ad comes up, and it says a woman in this town where you're at, in your hometown, for example, lost so many pounds using such and such diet product. Okay, that's fine. Whatever. It's spam. It's a pop-up. You get rid of it and you go on. But then you go home, and the same ad pops up on your computer at your house, and it says, and you live in a different city, and it says, well, this, the same woman, same picture and everything, lost X amount of weight using the same diet product, blah, blah, blah. And people go, well, that's just programmed to do that. But how did it know where in the hell you were? If it's just an advertisement, how did it know where you were? Unless it blankets the whole area with these, and that's in and of itself is scary. We're building technology that we can't control. We're building technology that we shouldn't have because it falls into the wrong hands. We're building technology that's falling into the hands of criminals and politicians and both. Um, if you're, my wife laughs at me because she says I'm afraid of computers. And you know what? She may be right. Because I'm doing these videos on our home computer, and we have a cell phone and like that. But it makes you wonder, at what point will your computer argue with you? At what point will your cell phone decide to not work because it doesn't like you? It doesn't like the way you treat it. That's the singularity. You know, it sounds crazy, but the eggheads that are coming up with all this crap say it's on the way. So just be prepared. You folks have a good day. God bless one and all.